right here at flynubianqueen.com, the network for melanated women and men like you. Unfortunately, we have several stories that are horrible and bizarre. We're going to talk about the strange death of Sayyinah Dennis, as well as Mikayla Miller. We're going to talk about a middle school shooting in Idaho. We're going to talk about 4 race soldiers or former race soldiers indicted by federal jury in the death of George Floyd, and that they violated his civil rights, which was, we're supposed to be protected from unlawful and unreasonable searches and seizures. And so they have those 4 race soldiers indicted, including Derek Chauvin, and he's also indicted for violating the civil rights, I believe, of a 14-year-old several years ago. I made mention of that in a prior broadcast. But the 3 former race soldiers who are facing federal civil rights charges, who have been indicted on that, they're out on bond. So they're not behind bars. So it's not like they are incarcerated or under the jail as I would like to see them. But either way, we're going to talk about all of those things. Just so many really, really horrible, bizarre stories coming out. And then there's another school this time. It is in Michigan, where white students have been found playing another slave trading game of Black students. So we're going to talk about all of these things. I want to see you all coming into the Lioness Den. Make sure you hit the like button and share this broadcast. Unfortunately, this is a Friday full of horrible news, but we're going to get through it. We will persevere. Shout out to everyone who's tuned into the Lioness Den. I want to remind you that our program is here weekdays, normally at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Weekdays normally at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, right here at flynubianqueentv.com. When you're subscribed to our channel, you get notifications. So make sure you hit the notification bell. Also, I'll usually put a schedule link in YouTube before we start, so you can always see the exact start time. I want to shout everyone out. I see y'all coming into the Lioness Den. Be one to all of you all. Be one to everyone who has supported the Buck Breaking movie, or the Buck Breaking film rather. So, but you can go over to buckbreakingmovie.com. That's buckbreakingmovie.com to check that out. Check out your sis. I am in it. It is phenomenal. Also, I want to invite you all to go over to flynubianpower.com. That's flynubianpower.com, and sign up for Unapologetic Black Power. We're going to stick with the same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays. So come next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays. The link will go out to everybody as you're registering starting on Monday. So it'll go out, an email will go out on Monday, Tuesday, and then also Wednesday before class. 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. That's 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. Unapologetic Black Power. It'll be new folks as well as the folks who've been rocking with us for about 14 weeks now, or almost 14 weeks. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, flynubianpower.com. It comes with a 7-day free trial. Shout out to the family for coming through. Shout out to Black Voltron Reloaded. Shout out to Motown House and everyone who is here. All right, let me take care of some more housekeeping. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 states that allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay. Yeah, it is crazy. We're going to get into this today. Shout out to Ocean. I saw your comment as I was reading this fair use thing, but yeah, we're going to get into all of that. And shout out to Sassy Lady 89 Forever. We see you. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in. Trying to get a little bit of light and some joy in this space because we have some horrible things to discuss, and y'all already know how much I hate it. All right, but let's get into some general things that are going on. First thing is, if y'all haven't heard about this, it's kind of crazy. This is from USA Today. It came out at 1:01 p.m. the 6th of May, which was yesterday. It says it's real. A 6th grade girl opened fire in Idaho middle school, injuring 3. Horrified students thought it was a drill. Okay, now listen to this from the Associated Press.
Morning at approximately 9:08 a.m., a 6th grade female student retrieved a handgun from her backpack. She fired multiple rounds inside of the school and out. She injured 3 people. 2 of them are students, and 1 of them is a school employee. During the shooting, a teacher disarmed the student and detained her until law enforcement took her into custody.
Our adult was shot once as a through and through in an extremity and able to be released at shortly after being evaluated and treated in the emergency room. Our 2 pediatric patients, one was shot once in an extremity and may require surgery in the future. The second was potentially shot twice, but there were 2 injuries, one to an upper extremity, one to a lower extremity. Fortunately, we were blessed that each of these individuals sustained non-life-threatening extremity injuries. Our 2 pediatric patients will be monitored overnight in the hospital.
We train very frequently with the sheriff and also on our own for situations. I don't think we can ever fully be prepared, but I feel like our staff reacted and our students reacted in the best possible way for the best possible outcome.
So staff reacted by disarming the student. Thank God they did. Now, this was in Idaho again, y'all. Listen to this. So this is, again, you just heard that news report from the Associated Press. That's how they reported it from the local news8.com. But it says, student in custody after Idaho school shooting yesterday. A 6th grade girl took a handgun out of her backpack and began shooting in the hallway of an Idaho middle school on Thursday, a rampage that only stopped when a teacher intervened, according to local law enforcement. 3 people, an adult and 2 students were injured at Rigby Middle School as the girl shot 2 inside before exiting the school and shooting another person, Jefferson County Sheriff Steve Anderson said. The victims were shot in their limbs and are expected to survive. Students inside the school were gripped by terror when they realized the repeated intercom announcement of a school lockdown were not a drill. We didn't think anything of it at first until we heard footsteps in the hallway, and then we heard the police siren, and that's when we started realizing it was real. 7th grader Madison Jensen told Idaho Falls' local News 8, I texted everyone I knew. Yandel Rodriguez, 12, heard 3 loud noises. Then there was screaming. Our teacher went to check it out, and he found blood. So it says students comforted each other as the events unfolded inside the school where 1,500 students in 6th grade through 8th grades attend, right? Like they were saying that they were freaking out. A lot of kids were crying. Just a lot of stuff happening here. Now, I find this to be particularly interesting because at this point, it is a 6th grade girl who opened fire. I don't believe she was a Black girl at this Idaho school. If she was Black, I think we would have known about it. Her mugshot probably would have been up, and she unfortunately probably would have been shot and killed by law enforcement and maybe even a teacher that disarmed. I don't know, but I just do know that the student is in custody. I'm not advocating that, for the student to not be alive right now, but I'm just saying I suspect that this was a white female 6th grade middle school shooter. So bizarre. Like, this is like kind of crazy. You usually hear about like rejected, ugly, ridiculous, really, really hateful and vengeful white males who do school shootings or white boys who do school shootings. I don't know if I've heard of a 6th grader doing a school shooting before. This little girl was packing. She brought a damn handgun into the school building and started busting off in the hallway, then went outside and shot somebody else. Yeah, Idaho is definitely white. Somebody said it's whiter than a potato, right? It's just really interesting. When I saw this story, I was like, wow, let me go ahead and just make note of this. Now, let me stop sharing my screen. If you're just tuning in, I'm your sister, Lioness Crowned, your revolutionary, unapologetically Black host right here at FlyNubianQueen.com, the network for melanated women and men and children like you. So here we go again. Let me share my screen. Don't necessarily need to share my screen, but I'm gonna just push through this one. Now, this one is from Atlanta Black Star. It says reports Michigan high school under investigation after a slave trade group chat leaks on social media. This is from May the 6th. It says another school is under fire after a group chat, surfaced on social media about an alleged mock slave trade involving Black students at a high school in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, local TV station WPBN reported. It says the news outlet revealed that an investigation was underway after reports claimed some students at Traverse City High School pretended to sell and buy Black students on Snapchat. WPBN spoke to Jayla Sue Wharton, who said her 15-year-old daughter, Nevaeh, who is biracial, informed her about the Snapchat group called Slave Trade on Thursday, April the 22nd. She told the outlet that her daughter and several other Black students were involved. Does this sound familiar, y'all? Remember I did a whole broadcast on this happening out of, Aledo, Texas. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button and share this broadcast because we didn't even get to the strange deaths of Sayyinah Dennis and Mikayla Miller. Okay? And these bastards who killed George Floyd. We didn't get there yet. Make sure y'all hit the like button and share this broadcast. Shout out to Chris from Mississippi. I'll see you in the chat. So it says, all of these students were involved. Quote, a group of kids were pretending to sell and buy kids of color around Traverse City as like slaves, Nevaeh said, explaining that she was told by a friend. Quote, and then the next morning, she was like, you were in it. They put your picture in the group chat and auctioned you off. Put my glasses on. So then Nevaeh said she used to smile at them, the students in the halls, and was hurt that they could do something like this. See, we don't understand racism and white supremacy and how these people think and how they train up their children to also be white supremacists, then unfortunately it will hurt your feelings and it will confuse you. This is why we must teach our children that we are in a global prison system of white supremacy and anti-Black racism. And we have to also teach them that we're at war right now. And it's happening on many fronts. We're at war, all areas of people activity, right? And also psychological. This stuff is happening in schools, y'all. So the girl Nevaeh said that, she was hurt, that they could do something like this. Quote, I do know that there are kids in the area who do and say things like that as a joke, but then as the situation increased, I realized this is really wrong, she said. So unfortunately, this is another thing, right? This is a teachable moment. We cannot allow our children to even co-sign, condone, ha-ha, and kiki with people who do racist things. Let's take a look at this quote right quick. Nevaeh is biracial, and a friend told her that she was in the chat. Maybe a white person, maybe a white student or something said she was in the chat. I don't know what this ratchet little video is right here, but I'm about to delete that. Hold on. There you go. It says Nevaeh says she used to smile at them, the students in the halls, and was hurt that they could do something like this. Quote, I do know that there are kids in the area who do and say things like that as a joke. But then as the situation increased, I realized this is really wrong, she said. Yeah, it's always been wrong. That's the thing. Like, it's never okay. You are never obligated and you should never subject yourself to any form of abuse, humiliation, racial or otherwise, or anti-Black racism. So it says parents and school officials denounced the alleged racist behavior during a meeting at the Traverse City Area Public Schools Board of Education on Monday, April the 26th. So listen, I don't care how much they condemn it. We don't care about a condemnation. What do we care about? Well, we actually care about punishment. We care about punishment. That's the only thing that we really, that really actually matters in this situation, right? But it says that they did condemn They condemned it at the Board of Education meeting on Monday, April the 26th. It says 3 days after, it says 3 days before, the district confirmed they were aware of the situation, stating, quote, a very serious and inappropriate incident related to high school student behavior on social media, a Snapchat termed slave trade, similar to those being shared in other states. Remember, I told y'all that this was going to be like a thing or a fad, similar to those little Snapchat groups by high school students that are being shared in other states have been duplicated in the region, it added. TCAPS students appropriately reported the Snapchat to school officials, who immediately began an investigation into the matter. The school district continues to thoroughly allow its investigative and disciplinary procedures and responsibilities, including any requirements under board policy and Title IX. Now, what is missing from this statement? What is missing from this statement, y'all? What is missing from this statement? This does not name race. This does not name racism. This does not name a hate crime. This does not name anti-Black racism. This does not name white supremacy. This does not name punishment. This does not name consequences. It does not say anything. An acknowledgement that, like, hey, these white kids did this thing over here, this inappropriate behavior. That's what they're calling it, inappropriate behavior. The only way we know in this statement that this inappropriate behavior was racialized or anti-Black in any way is because the Snapchat itself was termed slave trade. That's it. So this is ineffective. And to me, it seems like maybe the school district and all of these people, although they're making this statement, this is not a condemnation. There are no consequences here. Be one to y'all. I see y'all coming in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button. Do you understand what I'm saying? Somebody says they're caping or they're capping. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is a bunch of nothing. This does not mean or say anything. Now it says Dr. John Van Wagner, superintendent of Traverse City Area Public Schools, also released a statement saying, quote, we are disheartened to hear this behavior. Well, what behavior? This behavior and activity. Well, can you describe the behavior and activity? Can you name the behavior and activity? Can you name the racism, the white supremacist behavior and activity that these kids are doing? Can you name the hate crime that took place with this slave trading game in Snapchat? But anyway, let me go ahead and read what he wrote. Shout out to Motown House. I see you. Quote, this is from the superintendent. Quote, we are disheartened to hear this behavior and activity has occurred in our community, particularly at a moment when our nation continues to grapple with issues of diversity. What does that mean? Equity. What does that mean? Inclusion. What does that mean? And belonging. What does that mean? Now, I work in the field where we do use these terms, but if you don't name exactly what type of diversity, what type of equity, what type of inclusion and why, inclusion in what way and for what purpose, and belonging, like what does that mean? Then it's just fluff. Does this statement name anti-Black racism, hate crime, or anything like that? Or punishments or consequences? Y'all tell me. It says he added, quote, our schools and school communities are committed to working tirelessly to provide safe learning environments for all students by prohibiting harassment. So it says harassment, by prohibiting harassment due to an individual's, what's the first thing they name? Sexual orientation. The second thing it names is gender identity. Then it says race. Then it says ethnicity. Then it says religion or disability, end quote. Notice the order of those things. Notice the order. Y'all hit the like button and share this broadcast. We're just warming up. I got to get to the strange deaths of Sayyinah Dennis and Michaela Miller and more. All right. Now, it says a similar situation. This was what I reported on weeks ago. A similar situation took place 2 weeks before at Idaho ISD in Texas. The game was played among Daniel 9th grade campus students in a Snapchat group, which priced Black students between $1 and $100. Some of the descriptions included critiquing the hair of a male student who was valued at $1. Following an internal investigation, officials determined Racial harassment and cyberbullying were both factors in that incident. So that was the incident in Texas. They named a whole lot more than what the school in Idaho is not saying. It says the district said racism and the impact of the students' actions would be addressed, quote, through district-led educational opportunities, end quote. Again, no punishment, no sanctions, no consequences at all for these white students perpetrating these hate crimes. And so again, I told you all, when there's no punishment in a case like this that happened in Alito High School last month, when there's no direct punishment, then it incentivizes other students, white students around the country, to do the same thing. And they're seeing these slave trading Snapchat groups as a fad, as a trend, because these kids know that they can do it without anything actually happening, without anything happening to them. So that's an update that was in, we just talked about the one in Alito, Texas weeks ago. And now you have it again right here in print, most recently that we know of, a Michigan high school. Shout out to Atlanta Black Star. The things they do to our babies, y'all, is just so sickening. So if you're just tuning in, I'm your sister, Lioness Crown. What my locks doing today? Lioness Crown, your revolutionary, unapologetically Black host, right here at flynubianqueen.com, the network for melanated women and men and children and people like you. So again, we invite you to go over to flynubianpower.com. That's flynubianpower.com. Be sure to sign up for Unapologetic Black Power with Lioness Crown. Comes with a 7-day free trial. We will have open session and open sessions there from now on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll also be joined with our veteran B1 scholars who are in there. And then they also have an additional class, which meets on a different day as a mastermind group, because they've gone through the curriculum and they already know what's up. But we're going to hit on a specific topic to be announced on Wednesday in Unapologetic Black Power with Lioness Crown. So go over and sign up. Be sure to go over to flynubianpower.com. That's flynubianpower.com. And also visit our shop at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. Now, here we go. More horrible news today, because I don't know what the hell is happening. We're in May. I don't understand why the news is just so horrible and horrific, but here we are. Now, some of y'all may consider this to be good news, but I'll just go ahead and share this particular screen. Give me a second. Let me take this comment. Oh, yeah, I try to keep it 100. I try to keep it 1,000, Ben. Yes, but listen up. All right, let's do this. Do y'all think that this means anything? Is this good news or is this bad news? Am I just being a Debbie Downer today? Is this something that we should be celebrating or what? Let me know in the chat. Is it good news or is it bad news, or does it not matter? Now, it says federal grand jury indicts 4 ex-officers. We call them ex-race soldiers in George Floyd's death. Updated at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, May the 7th, 2021, which is today. Y'all, if this is only 2021, we already know what 2020 was looking like. We're in for a hell of a ride. We're in for one hell of a ride this decade. What y'all think? But anyway, I digress. Remember, we talked about this juror, Brandon. Talked about him the other day. They got receipts of him. The defense got receipts of him wearing a Black Lives Matter hat and a t-shirt with a picture of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And the words around it is "Get your knees off our necks, BLM, Black Lives Matter." The defense they file a motion to get a new trial for Derek Chauvin, alleging many things in addition to jury misconduct. We must see where that goes. Now, I reported on that earlier this week. It's been one hell of a week this week, with news. But anyway, here we are on Friday. And again, federal grand jury indicts 4 ex-officers in George Floyd's death. This bastard, Derek Chauvin, also charged with civil rights violations in a 2017 incident. I talked about that before, because he allegedly knelt on or choked, strangled a 14-year-old child for 17 minutes after the child's mother, the Black child's mother, called the police because her kids was fighting or something like that. And we got to stop calling the damn race soldiers when when our kids start fighting. I see Sir Excellence in the chat. So basically, this is where we are. Now, this is from an hour and 17 minutes ago. He's also been charged with civil rights violations in that 2017 incident. The NAACP president calls federal indictment against Chauvin and 3 ex-officers a step in the right direction. So I don't know how y'all feel in the chat, but the NAACP president says that the federal indictment against Chauvin and the other 3 ex-race soldiers is a step in the right direction. So NAACP National President Derek Johnson said the announcement today of federal charges against Derek Chauvin and 3 other former Minneapolis police officers in the death of George Floyd was, quote, a step in the right direction. In his statement, Johnson noted the need for police reform. How can you reform the police if they're slave patrol and they were founded as slave patrol and they was trying, their whole purpose is to keep the niggers under control? Y'all tell me how that can be reformed. But anyway, I digress. In his statement, Johnson noted the need for police reform, including a national registry of police misconduct. I support that. And ending qualified immunity. I also support that. Saying that, quote, no police officer is above the law, nor should they ever be shielded from accountability. I agree, and I support that. I support that statement, but I don't know how far this is going to go. Now, this came out an hour and 41 minutes ago. Again, this is from CNN.com. It says Floyd family attorneys say they are encouraged by federal indictment of ex-Minneapolis police officers. I call them ex-race soldiers. The attorneys representing George Floyd's family said in a statement that they are, quote, encouraged by these charges and eager to see continued justice in this historic case that will impact Black citizens and all Americans for generations to come, end quote. That's what the attorneys for the family said. Now it says a federal grand jury indicted 4 former Minneapolis police officers in connection with the death of George Floyd, alleging the officers violated Floyd's constitutional rights, according to court documents filed in federal court in Minnesota. Derek Chauvin, that bastard, that pig, that race soldier. Hold on for a second. Shout out to shopfnq.com. It says Derek Chauvin, who was also charged in a separate indictment related to an incident in which he allegedly used unreasonable force on a Minneapolis 14-year-old in September of 2017, the Justice Department said in a statement today, Friday. The statement from civil rights attorney I guess I got to read it. So let me just get to it and get it over with. The statement from civil rights attorneys, Ben Crump, Antonio Ramucci, and L. Chris Stewart said, quote, the additional indictment of Derek Chauvin shows a pattern and practice of behavior, end quote. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Y'all make sure y'all hit this like button. Exactly. I don't know if Sayyinah is dead. How can you claim that somebody committed suicide if we don't have her, if nobody's seen her body? Upstate New York. I know what's going on up there. Trust me. So y'all stay tuned. I want y'all to hit the like button. We're going to get through this Derek Chauvin and these race soldiers. May they all perish under the prison. Right? But we are going to talk about Sayyinah Dennis and Mikayla Miller. And how the hell was Mikayla Miller found tied to a tree dead? The hell is going on up over there? All right. But anyway, back to this. This was a statement by attorney Ben Crump. I'm not even going to read it. It's a waste of my time. Y'all can go check that out at your leisure. It's on CNN.com. I don't really have nothing to say, but I do support George Floyd's family if they feel that this is, brings them some hope or encouragement. Rather, I think the word was encouragement. I support that. I support them. And I support accountability for the police. I support the community control of policing. I support, abolishing the police and defunding the police. I support ending qualified immunity. I support getting these bastards registered in databases for every single offense that they commit. And they also support that they should not like be able to be fired from or resign from and keep their pensions from a police department and then get hired somewhere else. White supremacists don't get fired. They get transferred. They get transferred. Walaikum assalam, Willie Rivers. I'm doing well. Thank you. I'm doing well considering. I mean, it's hard to be well, though, and feel well when you have situations and stories like what happened to 16-year-old Mikayla Miller, who was found tied to a tree in the Boston area, y'all. She was found tied to a tree in the Boston area. Let me go ahead and open up this image in a new tab so we can look at our baby girl. She was 16 years old. She was 16 years old. And it is really, really, really strange how this happened or what happened. And the circumstances, like who was involved in all of this stuff, it's just like, something don't sound right. Beautiful little girl. Beautiful. Gone. Her body was found tied to a tree in the Boston area, in some suburb outside of Boston. Yes, we do have an anti-Black hate crime database. The database is called, Black Beltran, put it in for me, please. Anti-Black Activities Database.org, anti-Black Activities Database.org. So if anything, any hate crimes or anything like that are happening in your area, thank you so much, Motown House. This is where we need to be reporting it. And shout out to my brother, our brother, Tariq Nasheed, for putting that up. I will be taking a closer look at it and monitoring it and seeing what's going on in there. But we definitely, shout out to Motown House. It's always on point. Thank you for putting that link in. Any hate crimes or suspected hate crimes in your area, please report them. The directions for reporting is on the website. Now, I want everyone to take a moment to put the name of 16-year-old Mikayla Miller in the chat. Yes, this is the second child. B1 Joe. Yes, Mikayla Miller was found tied to a tree. She was found tied to a tree in a Boston suburb, dead after they say these kids came to jump her, including some boys. Now I'm hearing that this was a mixed race group of people. And I'm also hearing that there are reports that there was some LGBTQIA relationship stuff going on, with these teenagers. Now, that is clearly not a cause of death. I don't really care about that, but I do care about where the hell is the LGBT community, talking about us getting some justice for Mikayla Miller. Where are they? Why are they silent? And I'm talking about they as in the white, non-melanated LGBTQIA plus community. Anytime a Black queer person, in this case a child, as she was 16 years old, comes up dead or harmed, they don't have a damn thing to say about it. Y'all heard about that brother? I think he was a queer brother who got a ride home from a race soldier. Then he went in there, was fighting his brother. An hour later, brother called the police on him. Police came, that same officer came and shot this brother up, shot him all up in his back, and all he had in his hand was a damn cordless phone. The white LGBTs ain't say a damn thing about that, right? But when it's one of their own, it's like, oh my God, they're targeting this person because they're gay. But as soon as a gay Black person or non-heterosexual Black person gets harmed by law enforcement or otherwise, they don't have a damn thing to say about it. It's just white silence. White silence. So I just needed to name that. So I'm just going to reset and just remind you all that you're tuned into the Lioness Den. I am your sister, Lioness Crowned, your revolutionary, unapologetically Black host, right here at flynubianqueen.com, the network for melanated women and men like you. Now we're about to get into what happened. We have questions. What happened to 16-year-old Mikayla Miller? Such a strange story. Absolutely Smoketown for life. Absolutely. So look, I have several articles here. Let's go to Euroweb.com. It says 16-year-old Mikayla Miller found tied to a tree in Boston area town. This was yesterday, y'all. A 16-year-old named Mikayla Miller was found by a jogger tied to a tree on Sunday, April the 18th, in Hopkinton, Massachusetts. Now, she was found on Sunday, April the 18th. This article from Euroweb came out yesterday, just to be clear. It says it is believed that the teen got into a dispute with a group of other teenagers the night before. Her mother asked for her death to be investigated due to the suspicious circumstances. However, the DA claimed there was no foul play. I need somebody to right quick. Y'all need to tell me the DA from that area and put their name and their information, their contact information for that DA in the chat. Okay. This is from Hopkinton, Massachusetts. All right. So remember, it says it is believed that the teen, Mikayla Miller, let's all say her name in the chat, got into a dispute with a group of other teenagers the night before. Her mother asked her death to be investigated due to the suspicious circumstances. However, the DA claimed there was no foul play. Quote, my daughter was jumped by a group of kids on Saturday, April the 17th, 2021, and was then murdered hours later in Hopkinton, tied to a tree and left, end quote, read the statement allegedly left by Miller's mother. In related news, Hopkinton, Hopkinton, I guess I was mispronouncing it. Hopkinton schools closed early on Thursday as activists and a prominent congresswoman call for a new investigator to take over the case. On Wednesday at noon, a group of pastors from local Christian churches held a prayer service in Hopkinton Town Common. This can happen anywhere. We have to pray for the healing of our youth and community, especially in this, said Pastor Sarah Watson of the Vineyard Church. No, we don't need to pray. That I don't know if praying, what? Pray for the healing of our youth and community. We need to be replacing a system of anti-Black racism with a system of justice. We need to be breaking free of this global prison system that is white supremacy. That's what we need to be doing. So Hollywood Unlocked also posted about Mikayla Miller on their social media. I think it was Instagram. That article from Euroweb is really short. Now let's go over to Fox News. It says Mikayla Miller death, race, sexuality, and policing laid bare in sleepy, affluent town. That's one hell of a headline, y'all. Mikayla Miller death, race, sexuality, and policing laid bare in sleepy, affluent town. The subtitle is this: District Attorney Marion Ryan stressed during a news conference Tuesday that the investigation is ongoing. I want y'all to look up this district attorney. I'm gonna put her name in the chat. Marion Ryan. And again, I'm reading from foxnews.com. Mikayla Miller, Mikayla Miller, a 16-year-old Massachusetts girl, was found dead and tied to a tree in her suburban hometown hours after a fight with other teens last month, prompting fear, confusion, and speculation of foul play in the small community. Authorities have not yet announced an official cause of death, but Miller's mother, Calvina Strothers, maintains that she was prematurely told by Hopkinton police it was a suicide. Suicide. Suicide? Suicide? Suicide. I'm just the question is reverberating in my head over and 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 over again. A suicide. I'm gonna need y'all to just put that in the chat and just put a whole shit ton of question marks behind it. Let me read that again. Shout out to everyone who's tuned into the Lioness Den. I'm your sister, Lioness Crown, your revolutionary, unapologetically Black host right here at flynubianqueen.com, the network for melanated women and men like you. It says Mikayla Miller, a 16-year-old Massachusetts girl, was found dead and tied to a tree in her suburban hometown hours after a fight with other teens last month, prompting fear, confusion, and speculation of foul play in the small community. Authorities have not yet announced an official cause of death, but Miller's mother, Calvina Struthers, maintains that she was prematurely told that she was the victim's mother, Michaela's mother, was prematurely told by Hopkinton police it was a suicide, prompting speculative allegations that investigators were neglecting a full probe because of the victim's race or sexual orientation to swirl on social media, and claims from activist groups that there was foul play involved. Hopkinton is about 30 miles west of Boston and is best known as the starting point for the Boston Marathon, where a vigil for Miller was scheduled for Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? Exact Black Voltron, hey. Let me read that again. It says, authorities have not yet announced an official cause of death, but Miller's mother, Calvina Struthers, maintains that she was prematurely told by Hopkinton police it was a suicide, prompting speculative allegations that investigators were neglecting a full probe because of the victim's race or sexual orientation to swirl on social media, and claims from activist groups that there was foul play involved. Race or sexual orientation, I would just say race. I would just say race. By the way, FYI, I would just say because of her race. Because if this was a queer white girl found tied to a damn tree, ain't no way in hell that the police department or the police department would prematurely say, without an official cause of death, that it was a suicide. I am very, very clear that if this was a white, female, LGBTQIA plus or queer, child, 16-year-old who was found dead tied to a tree after she got jumped by a group of teenagers, they would not be saying that, oh, it was a suicide. Y'all better share this broadcast, because this is what's happening to Black children in this country in 2021. Now we're in May. We're not even 6 months into the damn year yet. Now it says Hopkinton is 30 miles from the damn Boston, and that's where the Boston Marathon starts. I don't give a damn about the Boston Marathon. Fuck the Boston Marathon. Now, anyway, according to Fox News, this article, it says Miller's family and activist groups are demanding a more thorough investigation and more transparency from Middlesex County. This is it. Middlesex County District Attorney Marion Ryan's office. What is her office's information? What is her email address? What is that, y'all? Because I'm finna email and ask some damn questions. What's the status of this investigation? Where we at? Ryan stressed during a news conference on Tuesday that the investigation remained ongoing and that her office was exploring all leads in the case. Mikayla Miller, 16, was last seen on April the 17th and had been in an altercation with a group of 2 teen boys and 2 teen girls. Ryan said the victim is believed to have had romantic ties to one of the girls. I don't care. I don't care. She was a child. I don't care. Don't care. She got jumped by 2 teen boys and 2 teen girls allegedly, and then was found dead tied to a tree by a jogger in a Boston suburb. Fuck out of here. Now look, it says Mikayla Miller, 16, was last seen on April the 17th, right? Now, the final paragraph, it says, Miller's mother wrote in a Facebook post that she called police to report 5 teens had jumped her daughter. She said police questioned one of the teens and left, adding she believes her daughter had been lured outside by one of them later that night. This is really bad. This is really, really bad, y'all. This is what y'all think would have happened if some teens, like 5 teens or whatever, 4 teens came up to some white kid's house and jumped them and the kid turned up dead. So this is a post from Monica Cannon Gant. Okay. This was, a flyer about it on April the 17th, 2021. The life of 16-year-old Mikayla Miller was tragically taken from us. The circumstances around her death and disappearance will remain a mystery. Join us for a candlelight vigil. This is from foxnews.com, right? And this was I guess that was an Instagram, that looks like a tweet. It says, Ryan said investigators had accounted for the whereabouts of all of those teens, 2 involved directly with the altercation, 2 more who witnessed it, and a 5th who remained in a car outside. None of them were at the location where the police discovered Miller's body in the woods near her home, Ryan said, but she said investigators had not yet ruled out whether someone else had been there. So why the hell was the mother told prematurely without any medical examiner report or official cause of death that she committed suicide? That's what I want to know. From the beginning of this investigation, our investigators have been fully committed to determining exactly how Mikayla's precious and promising life ended. Ryan said, quote, "Make no mistake, there is no truth to the allegation that we have reached a final conclusion." She said her office was still waiting for the medical examiner to determine a cause of death and that other physical evidence had been sent to a lab for testing. And she vehemently denied accusations that her office was neglecting or trying to cover up any details about the case. Girl, we don't give a damn bullshit. Let us see these reports. Let us see you do a thorough investigation. Her name and that is in the chat. This DA needs to be off this case, quite frankly. This little girl died last month. What the hell? Where's the justice? What the hell is happening here? This is patently false, she said. According to a timeline of events Ryan provided, Miller was in a common area of her apartment complex between 5:17 p.m. and 6:41 p.m. on Saturday, April the 17th. She was initially accompanied by 2 friends who left before the encounter between Miller and a mixed race group consisting of 2 males and 2 females, one of whom Ryan said she may have had romantic ties to. Another teen, a female, remained in the car the group arrived in. So there was a getaway driver, allegedly. I suspect that was a getaway driver. I don't know. It says one of the males and one of the females were each involved in a physical altercation with Miller, Ryan said, and the teen later told police she had been shoved and punched in the face. Officers found Miller with a bloody lip. After the fight, the teens remained in the common area for roughly about 20 minutes, Ryan said, and Miller's mom called the police around 7:20 p.m. At around 9:30 p.m., Struthers went to bed believing Miller was still in the home. But records from Miller's smartphone fitness app show she took about 1,316 steps between 9 and 10 p.m. that night, according to Ryan, and that the distance roughly aligns with how far away a jogger found her body the next morning. The jogger found her on Saturday, April the 18th, with her phone and belongings nearby. She had been found bound by the neck to a tree with a belt, according to Struthers, her mother. In a GoFundMe campaign, the mother wrote that she had no reason to believe her daughter was suicidal, heartbroken, and confused when police knocked on her door on April the 18th and allegedly told her that Miller had committed suicide in the woods. Why the fuck is the police telling the mother that when they found her body? You can't just say, oh, your child committed suicide? Where's the medical examiner report? Where's the damn autopsy report? And it's supposed to be an ongoing investigation. What the hell is happening here? This is really nuts. Quote, "It is unacceptable that my daughter's death was considered a suicide without an investigation," the mother wrote. Struthers, the mother of Michaela, and I'll put her name in the chat, y'all. Mikayla Miller. Struthers described her daughter as an honor student who loved basketball and dreamed of studying journalism at Howard University or Spelman College. She identified as a member of the LGBTQIA community. She is demanding more transparency from Hopkinton Police and Ryan's office, the district attorney Ryan. Don't let that chick off the hook, including the release of the police report she filed after her daughter's altercation. It says the department did not, sorry about the phone, the department did not immediately respond to Fox News' request for a comment on the suicide claim or confirm whether a report or 911 call transcripts exist. Ryan pleaded to release, quote, "every shred of information related to the case once the investigation comes to a close if Miller's family agrees." She also said there was not immediately any evidence suggesting a hate crime had occurred. She also said that there was not immediately any evidence suggesting a hate crime had occurred, but was there immediately any evidence indicating that a suicide had occurred, dumbass? Was there? DA Ryan? Quote, "Very often, as everyone knows, things may appear to be one thing, and when we learn more information," she said, and then we learn more information, she said. "I think that is why initially we always indicate that this is at this time, what this is at this time. Clearly, often things come to light as we proceed further." So why did the police say that your daughter committed suicide? Why? Why? That all needs to be checked. All of this is wrong. We want to send our deepest heartfelt condolences out for the family, to the family of Mikayla Miller, and may she get justice. It is disgusting. Oh, he said no dusting for fingerprints. Are these kids locked up? Interesting comments. Interesting. Yeah, every time this happens, we should never, ever, ever, ever be desensitized to this stuff when it happens. Now, this is the final story. I'm about to wrap. More horrible, unfortunate news. And I want to know what the hell is up with law enforcement. And this is a rhetorical question, but if you want to answer it in the chat, answer it in the chat. What the hell is up with these race soldiers? Automatically, when a Black person is found dead, or when they're not found, as in this case, it's an alleged suicide. What the hell is happening here? How is this possible? How could you say, oh, it was a suicide? Allegedly, they're trying to say that Mikayla Miller's body being found hanging from a neck, tied to a tree with a belt around her neck, was a suicide, quote unquote. How the hell did she do all that? But anyway, in this case, we have Sayyinah Dennis. I need everyone to write Sayyinah Dennis's name in the chat. Sayyinah Dennis. Dennis. Ain't this some shit? All right. You just tuning in. We're in the Lioness Den. I'm your sister, Lioness Crown, your revolutionary, unapologetically Black host right here at flynubianqueen.com, the network for melanated women and men like you. Now, this is from CBSnews.com. This is the final thing we're going to talk about today. Missing Buffalo State college student apparently died by suicide, official says. Now, y'all help me make this one make sense, because I'm starting to get real. Yeah, I need to look. Sayyinah Dennis is her name. Now check this out. I'm gonna make her look real big. Look at this beautiful girl, college student, right? Check this out. Check this out. CBSnews.com. Missing Buffalo college student apparently apparently, question mark in the chat, apparently died by suicide, official says. A missing New York college student who disappeared last month is believed to have died by suicide, authorities said on Thursday. John Flynn, the district attorney in Erie County, another one, dumbass. Yo, where are they getting these district attorneys from? Where are they getting these district attorneys from? Hold on, let me put his name in the Summer Jam screen. Hold up. John Flynn, the district attorney of Erie County. This is upstate New York. All right. We need to ask him some questions. This is a call to action type Friday. Now, peep this. Missing New York college student who disappeared last month is believed to have died by suicide, authorities said on Thursday. John Flynn, the district attorney in Erie County, said officials have not discovered the body of 19-year-old Sayyinah Dennis, but said, quote, evidence suggests she took her own life. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? Let me read this dumbass paragraph again. From this dumbass statement that this dumbass district attorney by the name of John Flynn, dumbass from Erie County, who needs to be gone. This statement, it makes no sense. A missing New York college student who disappeared last month is believed to have died by suicide, authorities said Thursday. John Flynn, the district attorney in Erie County, said officials have not discovered the body of 19-year-old Sayyinah Dennis, but said evidence suggests she took her own life. How the hell do you rule something a suicide? You can't even find the girl. She could be alive. Is she alive? Is she alive? Quote, an exhaustive search and review of the evidence has been done, and it appears that this poor girl took her own life, end quote, Flynn said in a news conference Thursday morning. The investigation found no evidence of criminality in the case. Dennis, a sophomore at Buffalo State College, upstate New York, y'all, that's a whole nother story. Dennis, a sophomore at Buffalo State College, disappeared after leaving her dorm on April 24th. Flynn says she got into an argument with her boyfriend, which ended with him breaking up with her. She attempted to call him 59 and talked about killing herself, Flynn said. She also spoke about dying by suicide with a male friend, he added. She called him 59, so I guess I assume or suspect that this means she called him 59 times. Dennis threw away personal items that led investigators to believe she would not return to the dorm and took a bus to Niagara Falls State Park by herself, Flynn said. She was then spotted by park cameras along a trail at 2:17 a.m. on April the 25th. So if she got into an argument with her boyfriend and left her dorm on April the 24th, she ended up in Niagara Falls on April the 25th, right? The district attorney Flynn said she was this was the last time she was seen on video. Does this mean that she actually committed suicide? Where the hell is she? Why isn't there like an alert going out? Why aren't people looking for her? Why aren't there search and rescue teams in damn Niagara Falls or wherever the hell looking for her? How do you just say, oh, she committed suicide? Where is her body? And prayerfully, maybe she's still alive. At 12:19 a.m., the male friend called her and they spoke for 45 minutes. Flynn said around 1:20 a.m., Dennis texted a male friend and lied, saying that she had talked to her mother and was on her way back to Buffalo. He said several minutes later, her phone left her cellular network. Flynn said dogs searching the areas in Niagara Falls State Park lost Dennis's scent near the water's edge. Looking at Niagara Falls, the area just filled with rocks, he said. If what I believe happened, we may never find the body. She may be caught in the jagged rocks there. Then go find it. God forbid if she's not alive. But that's what I want to know. It says Catherine Conway Turner, the president of Buffalo State College, expressed her support to Dennis's friends and family on Thursday. Quote, I would ask that our campus in Western New York community keep her family in your thoughts, end quote, she said in a statement. Those of us who met Sayyinah know her as a bright honors student and a beautiful young woman with a big heart and a promising future in her field, mechanical engineering technology. Woo, she's smart. She will forever be a member of our Buffalo State family, Conway Turner added. And then it ends with, if you are someone you know might be at risk of suicide, there's help. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-8255. Call a crisis counselor text a crisis counselor at 741-741, or visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. So this is what I have an issue with. My problem is that if the DA and them are just saying, oh, the dog's lost her scent, she sent these messages, we can't find her, she committed suicide, then they don't have to keep searching for her. They don't have to keep searching for her. Let's say she's still alive, she's still out there, she's alive, or she's suffering mental health, or something else happened to her. If the family allows, the public allows this to just be swept under the rug and say, okay, we accept the fact that this is just a suicide so soon after the incident. April the 25th was just the other day. Y'all better keep searching for her. Like her name is, y'all better keep searching for this little girl like her name is Magnificent, or if her name is, I don't know, Chloe or whatever. Y'all better keep that same energy for Sayyinah. I don't want to hear no shit about no suicide unless there's actually a body and there's actually a thorough investigation. And there's actually, I want to see millions of dollars going into a search and rescue effort for her. Keep that same energy. But I just found it really, really interesting and disturbing that that's what they were saying. And I don't know if the investigation of the search and rescue was enough. Yeah. Was enough. Exactly. If it was Sally Sue, the whole damn town, the whole damn Niagara Falls, it will be people probably coming from Canada and all over the damn place looking for her. We're going to keep that same energy for Sayyinah. Dennis, y'all put her name in the chat. I pray she does also get found alive. No lie. But until she does, or unless she does, they better be searching for her. And searching. They better search for her like they looking for somebody named Anastasia. Okay? So this was Horrible News Friday, apparently. Friday, May the 17th, 2021. Real shit show of a shitstorm of anti-Black racism, hate crimes, alleged suicides, possible lynchings, all types of stuff is going on out here in these streets. Slave trading games, right? Race soldiers violating civil rights and now being charged or found, charged from a federal jury, but still out on bond, walking around after George Floyd is dead. Dumbass Derek Chauvin, defense attorneys trying to get a new trial. It's a lot going on. And then we got Mikayla Miller again, found strangled on a tree. Race soldiers showed up to the house and told her mama she committed suicide. Y'all better investigate these killings of these Black girls. That's all I'm saying. Sayyinah Dennis, we don't know where she at. I pray, baby girl, if you're out there, reach out to somebody and you're still alive. We pray that you are still alive. And also, you bastards in Niagara Falls don't get to actually make premature determinations without doing everything that you all can to keep this investigation and that search going. So I'm going to end y'all with that. I want y'all to stay tuned. Do not log off of the platform. Our sister Vicky Diller is coming on right now. She's coming on right now. So stay here. She's coming on right now. She wanted to come on at 2 o'clock. It is now 2:05. So I'm going to wrap. I'm going to invite you all to go over to flynubianpower.com. That's flynubianpower.com. Sign up for Unapologetic Black Power with Lioness Crowned. We will be live in effect on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Go over to flynubianpower.com. Try the 7-day free trial at least. Try the 7-day, free trial at least. Flynubianpower.com. That's flynubianpower.com. All right, y'all. This broadcast is ending, but so is global racism and white supremacy. We will trample this beast through fortitude, preparedness, and collectivism. And always remember that they stole us, they sold us, so they owe us. Until next time, family, peace and Black power.